Ladies and gentlemen, the next United States Heavyweight Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude!
There's nothing in my dreams, just some ugly memories. Kiss me like the ocean breeze.
Please welcome the newest members of the Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko.
Real be my lover, I will shiver and sing.
The world's greatest athlete and newest member of the Dangerous Alliance, the world's TV champion, Stunning Steve Austin.
Nothing left alive but a pair of glassy eyes. Raise my feelings one more time.
Please welcome one of Sting's best friends and a little stinger himself, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Bobby Eaton. It's not a lineup, it's not an army, it's not a stable, and it's not a family. It's an alliance of businessmen who will bring WCW down to its knees.
North-South Connection. Welcome to episode number 6 of the 7 Months of Danger. I am your host, John Kidd, and tonight we are looking at the second half of November 30th, and we are going to run through December 7th. And we are officially on our way to Starrcade 91, which we will talk about, obviously, here in a few episodes. So before we begin tonight's episode, my co-host, as always, Matt Souza. How are you tonight?
Sean, good to be here as always. The last episode featured a lot of hot crap, and so hopefully this one won't feature nearly as much hot crap.
There's definitely some crap, but I feel like maybe there's not as much crap, but I could be in a minority, so we'll see how that plays out for us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely some crap on here. Scott Shiflett, how are you?
I'm doing great. I think this episode's matches will be a lot better than last episode, but we have no Paulie promo on this one, guys.
Nope. This is a very match-heavy episode tonight for sure. And last but not least, Logan Crossland, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and yeah, hopefully we can rebound from last episode, because other than that promo, it was pretty trash.
It was. So we are going to jump right into it, and like the last episode, I am going to start with Meltzer notes, and these notes are from December 9th, 1991. So first up, still not certain what the status is regarding Harley Race stemming from last week's news. Race was given notice, as was every manager except Paulie Dangerously, Medusa, and Teddy Long, who won't be managing anyone, but since he's still under contract, they'll use him on television, but he won't be traveling. Over the past week, I've been told every story under the sun regarding Race's future, from everything is staying the way it was before he was given notice and he'll work full time, to he'll just work television and not work road shows anymore. Lex Luger is clearly staying. He's still under contract for a long time, which, spoiler alert, is a lie. And will be working the England tour as well. Luger's quitting last week, apparently because of the decision to drop Race. Lasted maybe an hour or two. So WCW, everybody. I'm going to go through all these, and I'll let you guys comment so we can just knock them all out at once. Next one. I'm not sure of the details of Rick Steamboat's contract, but believe he'll be working 100 dates a year schedule similar to Big Van Vader. There have been no major changes in the hierarchy of this company, despite all the rumors that have gone around. Jim Crockett is in more of a power position and lots of changes, more emphasis on those with wrestling ability. And the devaluation of pushes for guys like Van Hammer, Marcus Bagwell, and El Gigante. Well, this is also a bold-faced lie because they're still focusing on the fucking Freebirds. So, but Jim Herd is still the man in charge. And then the other note, Medusa broke her nose in a match with Bambi last week, but will be working until having surgery on her nose later this week.
What a shock.
Yep, Starrcade is coming up. There's something kind of humorous about the hype that WCW is donating a portion of the proceeds for Starrcade to the Starlight Foundation. What is actually happening is that they are raising the price of the event from $19.95 to $19.99 so they can donate the 4 cents in between to the Starlight Foundation.
Jesus God.
Oh, goddamn WCW. Steve Austin and Tom Zink missed this weekend with the flu. Note, PN News COVID from the match we will watch tonight probably took them both out. The best match I saw on WCW television was on Worldwide, which was a 6-man with Anderson and Zabisco and Eaton beating Pillman, Zink, and Graham, which was the match we discussed on the last episode. So once again, Sean is right because Meltzer agreed.
No.
Negative.
All right. So on our last episode, we talked about Paul Lee pipping the Omni show. Well, here are the results of the Omni show, and we're actually going to see two snippets tonight of 2 of those matches. So listen to this card. November 28th at the Omni in Atlanta, it drew only 3,800. As Tom Zink and Arachnaman and Big Josh beat the York Foundation when Tom Zink pinned Taylor, and they did break the breakup spot right after. So apparently the York Foundation is done. Big Van Vader, thank God, pinned PN News. Medusa beat Bambi. I will not spoil the Sting Rude match. Cactus Jack pinned Van Hammer. Scott Steiner beat Curtis Hughes. I will not spoil the tag team match. And last but not least, Lex Luger pinned Steiner. I'm told Luger Steiner could not follow the Rude Sting match or the tag team title match. And again, we'll talk about those 2 matches tonight. So, Sousa, anything on any of those notes that I just ran off from Meltzer?
2 things really stuck out to me. One is Meltzer saying that Lex Luger is under contract for a long time. Is he now? We'll find out. And the second one is Luger quitting lasting an hour or 2. That is unspeakably funny.
I thought that was kind of funny too. That might be the second funniest thing to me is the 4-cent pay-per-view increase to donate and say, hey, look, we're donating to people. That made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Schiff, what about you?
Luger quit until he looked to see how much he owed on his mortgage and was like, I'm back. I'm back. Steamboat, got a pretty good deal, 100 dates. I mean, it's not like from the crowds we saw, it's not like WCW was selling out a lot anyway. The Omni sounds like a hot show, sad only 3,800. Maybe that's why Bambi shouldn't be wrestling. She breaks Medusa's nose. I know Logan was really upset with that.
I'm waiting for Logan to comment on that one.
But just sounds like a crazy, and the scumbag thing with them raising it 4 cents, and it's bad. Scumbag move by WCW.
Does anybody out here do a good Jim Herd impression?
I do not.
Okay, that's a shame because I could use a good Jim Herd telling everybody to raise the pay-per-views by 4 cents so they can get publicity for donating to a charity. I think that would pop me a little bit, but that's okay. Logan, anything on the notes that I just talked about for you?
I don't know that I've ever heard him speak, so I couldn't even begin to even think about doing an impression there. But maybe I'll listen.
Tony Schiavone does a really good Jim Herd. If you ever listen to his pod, he does a good one.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll look up a video and I'll try my best on next time. But yeah, Luger quitting for about an hour or 2 is pretty funny. But yeah, pretty much everything else sounds about right. The 4 cents thing is bullshit and stupid. I'm sure the broken nose didn't make Medusa look any uglier. So, wow, no sold that one. I'm just kidding.
No, I was just saying, well, clearly she didn't get surgery on it because she came back with the same honker she did when she broke it. That's what I was.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. Yeah, I mean I'm surprised that it didn't draw very many more fans, but I think that was kind of that was kind of how this time period start to happen. So, but yeah, we'll talk about those 2 matches as we go through the episode. But those were the huge matches that happened at that show. So we'll talk about them.
All right, so that closes out. I don't think we gave enough credit to your comment about Medusa looking like Connecticut Triple H, Blue Blood Triple H on the last episode. So that now I had that visual in my head and I can't get it out of my head. So fuck you very much for that, Logan Crossland.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's jump into our matches tonight. Again, we're covering the second part of November 30th, 1991, and we're going to run through December 7th, 1991. Your champs. Your TV champ is still Steve Austin. Your U.S. champion is Rick Rude. Your light heavyweight champion is Brian Pillman. Your 6-man tag team champions have now broke up. I don't know what happens to the 6-man titles at this point, and I don't give a fuck. The U.S. tag team champions are the Patriots, and your tag team champions are still Rhodes and Steamboat, and your world champion is Lex Luger. So we're going to go right out off to the Saturday night from November 30th. So this is the second part of November 30th for the first part we covered on our last episode, where we left off with the great Steve Austin versus Michael Hayes TV title match. The Lethal Lottery video is played on this week's WCW magazines to build to Battle Bowl. So we haven't talked about Battle Bowl too much because I feel like we brought it up during the Clash. Now they played another promo video for it. And honestly, what is there really to preview, guys? For me, at the end of the day, these promo videos don't really sell it. I mean, they sell it to the point of where they show their most popular wrestlers in the video, thinking that you're going to get some really cool matchups and mixed tags. And we'll talk about the reality of that when we get to that pay-per-view. So you might not hear a whole lot about Lethal Lottery as we build to it, because honestly, there's not much fucking build. And so we're going to jump into our first match of Saturday night. It is the ever-returning the Patriots versus Arn Anderson and Bobby. So yeah, you hear the great sigh. So let's jump into it. By the way, the Dangerous Alliance music is growing on me. I don't know. Every time I hear it, I don't know how you feel about that music, but I love that song. I love JR saying one of the greatest tag team combos today about Arn and Eaton, and they've only been a team for exactly 1 week. So I do agree it's a great tag team, but it's hard to say they're one of the greatest of all time when they've only been together. Like, this is the first time we've seen them really as a tag team. Reuniting with JR in commentary is Paulie Dangerously, who describes Eaton and Anderson as the best tag team in the world because they are singularly the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. So Paulie, once again, using logic. I love Paul shitting on Steamboat and his family, which absolutely cracked me up because Bonnie Steamboat has been the antichrist of Steamboat's career for most of it up to this point. Paulie says that Arn and Bobby have been the best of friends and the worst of enemies, and that Arn was best man at Bobby's wedding, and that Bobby beat Arn for the World TV title several months ago. So I really like that Paulie is really selling these guys as a team and a relationship. I think he's doing an amazing job here. Early on, the Patriots hold their own until Anderson backs Chip into his corner, and Eaton hits him with the right hand and turn the tide. The heels beat up on Chip until he makes the hot tag. Well, hot as it can be. Although a majority of the crowd responds with apathy, which I think is hilarious. Champion beats up on both Bobby and Arn, and then Champion suddenly seems lost and doesn't know which one to hit next. And Paulie totally mocks him on commentary, which is hilarious. Chip comes in and fights Bobby. Todd hits Double A with a clothesline and a flying shoulder block off the top turnbuckle, but when he covers Arn, referee Randy Anderson is busy escorting Chip back to his corner. Eaton to the top turnbuckle and lands an Alabama jam across the back of Champion's head, which looked amazing, allowing Anderson to roll over and score the pinfall. Arn and Bobby beat on Chip and hold him up so that Medusa can then kick him in the head. I went 2 stars on this. I thought it was solid by Eaton and Anderson, furthering their push as a tag team. Side note, the Patriots were also the current United States champion, although this was mentioned, and they didn't wear the belts because they had already dropped the belts to the Young Pistols back on November 5th in a match that wouldn't air until December. Sousa, I'll go to you first. What do you think of this match? I went 2 stars.
2 stars, huh? Well, no, not quite. Medusa wearing a tablecloth during this match, so I thought that was very interesting.
I love how the apathy and the energy of the matches every time the Patriots are on just goes like from 0 to 100. It's like 100 to 0. Well, not quite. Go ahead.
Well, what the fuck else am I supposed to talk about? It's a Patriots match.
I just love it. I love it so much.
Oh God, they suck so much. And now it's getting to the point where the crowd doesn't give a shit about a match featuring Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton. That's when you know the Patriots fucking suck. When the crowd is just does not give a single shit about a match with Anderson and Eaton. Oh God, there was a hideous drop kick at one point by Champion. The crowd doesn't care. You get a mild tag. At one point, after the mild tag, Champion comes in and starts punching both Arn and Bobby. And then at some point he got confused, like he forgot who he was punching. And Paulie calls it out on commentary by shouting, "Make up your mind. Who do you want to punch?" So good on Paulie for doing that because, oh God, they sucked. Bobby hits the Alabama Jam off the top for the win. I thought that was the best looking move of the match because just about everything the Patriots did absolutely sucked. I believe this is the last time we are seeing the Patriots, correct, Sean?
This is one of the last times, I believe, yes.
One of the last times. Well, thank God.
Well, I'm not 100% positive, and I don't want to overcommit.
Of course not. Why would you want to? But yeah, this was hot garbage. The Patriots are fucking butt. 1 star.
See, I thought this is one of their better matches, but listen. I thought for me,
So did I. 1 star.
Uh, all right, okay. Give me this. Paulie was really good on commentary.
Oh yeah, Paulie's not one of the Patriots. He's not the
Okay.
problem.
All right, Schiff, what did you think?
I actually agree with you, Sean.
Wow.
I have a note here that Arn makes champion look competent. Paulie was amazing on commentary. I really love the Alabama Jam off the top rope. That's what I mentioned last episode that I wish you had done to Pillman in that 6-man, but luckily we got it here. And I love Medusa doing the karate kick. As a spoiler alert for everyone, you'll be seeing Medusa doing a lot of karate kicks this episode. I went star and 3/4.
Okay, so pretty similar. Logan, how about you?
Fucking karate kicks, fucking Medusa. Bullshit. Yeah, she was wearing the poofy shirt from Seinfeld in this before this match. So, yeah, just another interesting outfit choice for her. But I actually agree with Sean as well. I went 1.5, so I went lower than you, but I agree that the Patriots looked better than they have. I thought Chip didn't look bad at the start. He kind of outwitted Arn for a little bit. And the Patriots kind of dominated most of this one. Champion and Firebreaker Chip kind of dominated Arn for the early part of it, and it made me question: aren't we supposed to be glorifying this faction that we're talking about? Isn't this whole thing talking about how great the Dangerous Alliance is, and they just keep getting their ass kicked in all these matches?
Yeah, it's an annoying trend for sure.
Yeah. But I thought there was a pretty awesome right hand by Bobby at one point, and Arn follows it up with a pretty equally awesome clothesline. I thought that was great. Another Alliance escape job as usual, but it was good, really good to see the Alabama Jam. So I love that he finished the match off with that. And I kind of wish, like Schiff said, he had done that in the 6-man as well. But yeah, I went 1.5 on it.
Yeah, there's definitely a formula they have for the factions here, where the faces get a lot of offense, and then the heels beat up on them. Then there's there's definitely a formula to this. And I think as we go through this podcast, and Logan's brought it up, that honestly, they're supposed to be this dominant heel faction, and they tend to have to sell like crazy for these half-ass freaking wrestlers, like the next wrestler we're going to talk about. Logan, what was the final rating on that match?
1.56.
All right, so probably the highest Patriots match we'll ever have or see, because I don't think we ever see them again on this show. I'm not sure, Sousa.
Thank God.
All right, our second match of the night, Steve Austin, who unfortunately, and I forgot to ask you at the beginning, the whole most dangerous, whatever. We'll review that at the end today. But it is Stunning Steve Austin in another yet TV title defense, not against a Freebird, but it is against Arachnaman, who is Bad Street, who used to be Brad Armstrong. So Brad Armstrong is now Arachnaman. So we'll start out. Arachnaman makes a mess with his webs. Literally comes out and webs shoot all over the place. It's just a big hot mess, and he's actually trying to reel him in as he freaking gets to the ring, and it's just stupid. Rick Rude joins JR on commentary to promote an upcoming rematch against Sting at a house show in Jacksonville, Florida, and puts over Steve Austin as a hot young star. When asked for his thoughts on Scott Steiner as a potential contender for Stunning Steve's TV title, Rude praises him as a phenomenal athlete, but isn't sure he can beat Austin. And I thought that was a pretty random Steiner mention at the time, because they haven't really talked about Scott Steiner in the singles realm, which was pretty funny. Arachnaman does arm drags and arm bars, then rest holds by Rude. Then it's termed rest holds. I'm sorry. So Arachnaman does arm drags and arm bars, which Rick Rude terms as rest holds, to ground Austin until he manages to dump Arachnaman through the ropes. Rude believes that Arachnaman's movements seem familiar, and suggests that Austin can polish up his skills and achieve his potential by following Ravishing Rick Rude's lead. So it was kind of funny here where Rude was kind of saying, oh, he seems familiar, kind of shitting on the fact that Brad Armstrong isn't a stupid gimmick. While Rude and Ross argue over the World Tag Team title situation at the Clash, Austin controls by slowing the pace, but then whips Arachnaman into the corner and somersaulting in with a spear to earn 2. When Austin attempts to maneuver a second time, Arachnaman moves, and Steve hits the ring post, leading to Arachnaman comeback. Rude, very confused, not knowing if this is a title match, and would rather have been picking his teeth. He was clearly bored and not very good on the commentary. Leaping clothesline off the top, scores near fall, but Paulie hops on the apron to distract the referee, Nick Patrick, tosses his phone in the ring. On the turnbuckles, an Arachman dies off with a flying headbutt, and Austin cracks him with the phone on the way down to retain the title. Okay, again, here is Austin having to cheat to beat a very clear D wrestler. And the last note I made in this, why is Arachnaman? I went 1.75 stars. And again, this Austin trend of being better and should be beating these freaking jobbers, he has to either cheat or he doesn't beat them at all. And that's starting to get fucking annoying. Logan, I'll go to you first. What do you think of this match?
Yeah, I mean, I could believe that, the Freebirds were good at blowing Jim Hurt or whoever was making the booking decisions at this point a little better than maybe Arachnaman was, but I just don't get it. He must have a vendetta against Austin or something, but I don't know. I'm learning that Austin is very good at making his opponents look good, which I think he makes Arachnaman look good. He's really good at selling and taking offense from these guys. But I just wish I could see one match where he just absolutely whoops one of these goofs' asses. But I guess we're not going to see it. We probably won't. I don't think we see it in this episode, and I don't know when we may see it eventually. But I just would really like to, especially Arachnaman, like. The Freebirds were at least good at some point, or over, maybe not good, but they were over at some point. But a fucking Arachnaman, just kick his ass, like just whoop him up real good. But I made the note that Austin inspired a young Conan by busting out the rolling clothesline.
Yeah.
He did that a couple of times, so I definitely had to pull that one out. Rude seemed shockingly impartial. Like, I feel like he commented on how good Arachnaman looked at one point, and he wasn't really like hyping Austin up. He kind of shit on him a couple of times.
But I felt like he was bored though.
That too.
He didn't bring anything. He didn't bring anything to commentary, and I thought it was really bad.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if he's like not into this whole faction thing. Like maybe he just wants to be his own guy, but he's just kind of going along with it because he knows that he'll be prominently featured. But yeah, just another escape job by Austin. I hated to see it, but I went 1.5 because I think he did make Arachnaman look pretty good in the match.
Okay, Susan, what'd you think?
Yeah, I went 2 on it. I'm with you guys. The booking of Austin is it's super fucking weird. Like, I don't understand what you're really gaining by having Austin having to cheat to beat a guy like fucking Arachnaman, who's basically just a gimmick wrestler. And I mean, I know it's Brad Armstrong under the mask, and he's a good wrestler, but for God's sake, it's fucking Arachnaman. Like, what the hell are we doing? I did think Austin, like you guys said, made Arachnaman look really good. So, which is why I went 2 on it, because I thought, it was a perfectly solid match. Rude kept mispronouncing Arachnaman's name. He kept saying Arachman or Arachaman. So that was very entertaining. But yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to accomplish by having Austin cheat to win and having Paulie throwing the phone. But just have him win a match, especially against a guy like this. Like, come on, just have him hit the stun gun and win. It wouldn't hurt anything. So, 2 stars for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the good news is that we're seeing Austin win all these matches, but he's not really getting, I mean, at least for me, he's not getting over as who he should be in those wins. And I think that's starting to become a bad trend. Schiff, what do you think?
I went 2 stars on this. Arachnaman being from Web City is amazing. Rude trying to figure out who Arachnaman was reminded me of when Bobby was trying to figure out who Doink was. He's like, I've seen these movements before. And it's like both of them say like the exact same thing, which I thought was funny. And the JR and Rude actually missed Austin hitting Arachnaman with the phone at first. They catch it on a replay. He's like, oh, I didn't see that because it's so quick. Like, I just thought like Austin moved out of the way. And like that's how we got the win, but he actually clocks him in the head with the phone, which I thought was pretty good. And this is where I mentioned this last episode, where like Austin really doesn't have a finisher. Like I know you guys told me it was the stun gun, but like he uses it so little in these matches that it's like, yeah, it's just like random win Austin. Like that's how we get it, like a back suplex or something. Like it's like 1943 out there, and George, whatever is You know what I'm saying.
Sure, I know exactly what you're saying. Logan, what was the total on this?
1.81.
Chip is like, fuck this match. Let's move on. 1.81. All right, total. All right. Our next segment here. How do I rebound from that? I love that this is all being recorded, and we're not editing shit out of this podcast because we
Nope.
don't edit anything. All right, so we're still on November 30th, Saturday night. I feel like the Arachnoman match felt like it lasted forever. So we're going to the Sting interview. So Sting does an interview here, and it's a sit-down interview with a very special, serious Sting with Jim Ross in an empty arena. He's in his street clothes without face paint, and he's here to discuss the knee situation and the attack by Lex Luger and the loss of his United States title. So this is the first real time we've really heard from Sting since he's lost the belt. They referenced a career-threatening knee injury he had suffered in 1990, which you recall where he fell off the cage, and that started that whole Sting Flair run. Sting admits that he had flashbacks when Luger clipped his leg from behind. He finds it strange that most of his opponents tend to target his knee. Well, I don't know why that's fucking strange. I mean, anyway,
idiot.
Yeah, I put no shit.
Yeah.
That's what
You don't say.
Yeah, you don't say. You just brought it up, but you find it strange. Yeah.
I take it as like the baby face are supposed to fight honorable, and the heels don't, so that's what throws him off. That's the way
I love your context, but Sting is an idiot.
How dare you?
I love Sting, but he's a fucking idiot.
I mean,
saying
first
Absolutely.
off, he succumbed to Medusa every second. Well, I said succumb. You see, how I did that. He succumbed to Medusa numerous times, and now he doesn't.
I think that's the problem. He didn't succumb.
And now he doesn't understand why they targeted his knee, and Sting is just an idiot. Although his left knee is bandaged, Sting states that the knee is fine, and he would be back at 100% for his 3 matches with Rude. Then he brings up the topic of the Luger attack. JR notes that Lex Luger and Sting are longtime friends and business partners outside the squared circle, and Sting acknowledges that there has been a rift that has hurt him emotionally as well as physically. Sting is focused on his plans to become the #1 contender to Lex Luger's world title by regaining the U.S. title, and he asked the fans to stick with him and don't give up on him because he will be back on top soon. Yeah, so I get what they were going for as being realistic, and I felt like it was a good sports-like interview that helped establish the gravity of the situation. I think they were it almost felt like for me they were trying to go for like that Flair when he was injured by Funk, or maybe that Vader retirement match interview. And Sting cannot pull this off. And yeah, I don't know. This interview didn't do much for me. I think Sting looked like a total idiot, and serious Sting does not make good for TV. But I'm probably in the minority because I know most people like Sting. So Matt, what did you think?
This motherfucker talking about Lex Luger like it's Mother Teresa that turned on him. For God's sake, it's Lex Luger. What the hell's wrong? What the hell's wrong with you? It was a very different interview from Sting here than we're used to, but I think it's a case where you kind of needed serious Sting for something like this, as much as it didn't really work. I think you still needed it. I don't think it would have worked as well if it was the wild and crazy looking to fuck Medusa and yelling Sting. Like, I don't think that Sting would have necessarily worked in a promo like this. I mean, it still wasn't the best promo by any stretch, but I think it was a necessary promo, if that makes sense. Also, decidedly less horny, so that's always a welcome change from what we've seen out of Sting lately. So it was perfectly fine for what it was.
Would it be fair to say it was a far cry from Sting wanting to give Medusa his little stinger?
Yes, a very far cry from that. And also, yes, of course everyone wants to go for the knee. Everybody knows you have a bad one. No shit. Is this your first day with the WCW? For God's sake.
He's such an idiot babyface. I'm sorry. Schiff, what did you think?
Sting, I have the rose-colored glasses, obviously, as I was trying to make, make it sound good. But I liked him saying that the knee was good because, that's a nice long-term storytelling with wrestlers always wanting to attack the knee, and him saying it was good, and say that he's going to welcome Rude to WCW his way. It really sets up wanting to see that Omni match, which thankfully we do get to see in a couple matches from now. And, asking the fans to stick with him, it would be, I don't really get that because, it's not like he came up short in the match. Like, he was beaten up before the match and still came up short. It's not like he's continuously coming up short. It's not like he's Lex Luger against, Ric Flair or something and coming up short. So, telling the fans to stick with them, which, as we've seen at all these matches, you see little stingers in the crowd, the kids with, the Sting face paint and everything. So, I'm not really sure why that last part was added.
Okay, yeah. So did you like it or didn't you? I don't know if I got the vibe.
Oh, I liked it.
Okay, of course you did. You like everything. Logan, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about not understanding why people go for the bad wheel, the bad leg, is just it was so stupid that it kind of took me out of the rest of it. So, I mean, I think it was good that he kind of showed a serious side. Throughout the interview, saying that he's coming for Rude. He's going to get his revenge. He wasn't 100% when they face each other, so he's going to get the real sting the next time. I don't know why at all he's ever shocked that Lex Luger does anything nefarious towards him. I know they're buddies and they've been business partners or whatever that JR said throughout this. But I mean, he's constantly a bad guy, and he's obviously a bad guy because he's got Harley Race as his manager at this point. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by anybody turning on him or going after him if they're obviously up to no good throughout the rest of whatever they do on the TV or on the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So I don't really know why he was shocked by that. But yeah, the whole beginning comment about not understanding why people go for the bad leg, I think kind of took me out of it because I was just like, man, that makes no sense. Even even if you try to put context to it, but just so dumb. But not his best interview, I'll say.
Yeah, I do appreciate Schiff trying to make it seem.
Yeah,
like
I get where you're coming from.
I do appreciate. I mean, I really do. I know I shit on it, but I get what you're trying to say, Schiff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just it's called what you really want to say is Sting. It's called fucking psychology, you moron. That's what I wanted to say. That's why people go after the knee. But anyway, we're gonna move on to December 1st, and we're gonna go to WCW main event shows they had at this time, by the way. Which will come back to bite them because I'm going to talk about a match a little bit later that they retread that confused the hell out of everybody on this podcast when they looked at the date. So anyway, the main event, this is the match that I referred to on our last podcast that made me so angry that I wanted to freaking throw my laptop. And there's a reason for this. So we open up. JR and Michael Hayes are live discussing Luger and Steiner. And Hayes fillets himself saying that he beats both of them. Then Hayes gives his assessment on the upcoming match. No mention of Eaton and the Dangerous Alliance at all, by the way. Then we go on to this fucking match, which is covered up on commentary by saying that Bobby Eaton had a previous contract obligation for the six-man tag team titles. This comment was made by Shivani. And then he says the Freebirds need to be very, very weary. So basically, here's what happened. This match was filmed before Eaton officially joined the Dangerous Alliance. And they're trying to cover it off by saying that, well, Eaton had a contracted obligation to team with the Freebirds for this match. So this makes me so fucking angry because the end of this match, I'll tell you why it makes me angry. So anyway, Bobby Eaton, who's supposed to be a heel, he fist bumps face Michael Hayes at the start of the match. I don't think the Dangerous Alliance version of Eaton would be doing that. Hayes hip tosses all three of the York Foundation. Shivani pins next week main event of the Patriots and the Pistols for the U.S. title that was taped a month ago that will change the U.S. titles, and thank God we will not watch that, so you guys can breathe a sigh of relief. Garvin does a hip toss to Morton and jumps up and down like an idiot. The crowd is very into the Freebirds still. Shivani brings up Eaton and Taylor from Halloween Havoc as they face off. There's a great lifting backbreaker by Eaton to Taylor. The faces dominate the first 8 minutes until the York Foundation tosses Bobby outside as Hayes leads a Bobby chant as Tommy Rich hits a suplex for 2. Tony commentating like Back to the Future in present day was insane, questioning how Paul would feel if Bobby Eaton became a member of the six-man chance with the Freebirds. Bobby hits a neck breaker on Taylor and gets tagged, but the ref misses it, and all 6 men start fighting in the ring. Hayes goes for one of his left hooks, but Morton ducks and hits Eaton, and Eaton is pinned for the 3. This is why I'm angry. This motherfucker, Eaton, who is now a member of the Dangerous Alliance, just ate a fucking pin in a 6-man tag team title match that was filmed before he turned with the fucking Freebirds. And I don't understand why they would have aired this whatsoever. They should have just tossed it in the can. But no, they wanted to air it anyway and try to justify it with dubbed-in commentary. So this match really made me fucking angry. I think it was stupid to have Eaton take a fall when he's supposed to be this main event. On top of that, he got pinned by Ricky fucking Morton in 1991 as part of the York Foundation. It was silly. And again, it should have just been in the can. And again, it makes Bobby look like a complete and utter fucking idiot. I went 1 star on this match. Souza?
Yeah, this is real fucking stupid. Like, I feel like you need like red yarn and a cork board to try and figure out exactly what's taped when this happens, who's the champion here. Like, Jesus Christ, WCW. Like, get your shit together. Like it's their taping schedule is so fucking insane. Like you said, Sean, why did they even air this? Like there was nothing major in this match happened. There was no reason why they had to air this. They easily could have just thrown this in the can and sat on it or just burned the fucking tape. Like it's not like there was a big angle or anything that happened. And I mean, you also didn't get that great of a match either. So it's not like you would have been missing anything either if they burned the fucking tape. It was just your basic, boring, semi-bad Freebirds York Foundation match. I mean, I will say, you did get Jimmy Garvin wearing his Psychosis tights. I thought that was very nice. The tights were something. But yeah, even the crowd, like the crowd really, I mean, they gave a shit about themselves instead of the match. At one point, they started doing the stupid Atlanta Braves or Florida State.
Hey, watch your mouth.
I know what I said. Or the Florida State stupid ass tomahawk chant. Give me a break. Good God, you bunch of idiots. You're at a wrestling show. Watch the wrestling. Give me a break. So yeah, I mean, it was a real weird match, and honestly, nothing of substance really happened during this. So yeah, I ended up going a star on it, like you, Sean.
Yeah, it just fucking made me so angry, this match. Logan, what'd you think?
Yeah, I want a star as well. And as much as I learned in the last match that Austin is very good at making his opponents look great, I'm also learning that the Freebirds have a lot of favor with Herd or whoever is the head of the championship committee or the committee or whatever. And if you face them, you are probably going to get dominated, even though you may win in the end. It doesn't necessarily work out in this match, but I'll say it again. Bobby Eaton has a hell of a clothesline. He busted out at some point throughout this match, and of course, as much as the Freebirds dominate most of the match, of course, when the York Foundation takes over, it's on Bobby Eaton, and of course, when the pinfall occurs, it's on Bobby Eaton, and I thought it was really weird. Tony's obviously kind of alluding to the Dangerous Alliance stuff, but he acts like what Bobby does after the match when he punches both Freebirds is real dastardly, and I kind of think he's justified. They kind of screwed him out of winning the match, so I thought he was justified in punching him. But I also went one with you guys.
Well, I'd also want to punch both Freebirds, so who could blame them? Shiflet, what do you think?
Well, I thought I'm the high man with a star and a quarter, but the fans weren't doing the tomahawk chop Sousa just for the hell of it. P.S. Hayes figured that's the only way that they could get the fans to react was by stealing the Braves thunder in Atlanta.
I missed him doing that.
Yeah, because
my mistake.
He was doing that at the start, and I was like, I wrote like, really, like that's how he has to get them to care. It's like the tomahawk chop. I will say the fans did want the DDT a lot. You could hear them chanting that. And like Logan said, like Bobby has a nice short arm clothesline to Terrence Taylor. And I have another note here: York Foundation sucks. And Bobby had a nice neck breaker to stop Taylor's momentum. And then we got Hayes, punching Bobby by accident. Like it was bad, but like I did find some highlights in there because, as Sean says, I like everything. It wasn't the worst match I've seen it wasn't even the worst match with one of the Freebirds. So like, yeah, that's why I want to start in a quarter.
Well, that's true.
Well, it's true, but I want to start just because of the stupid retro booking they were trying to pull bullshit on us on.
Oh, they should have totally pulled the match. Like,
yeah.
You record 18 hours worth of matches. That one could have been cut very easily. It had no titles involved or anything.
Yeah, and by the way, they always say that at this time frame, people are 6-man tag team champions. I never see the fucking belts ever.
Right. What was it? Wasn't it a trophy?
I don't even think they had it. Was
no, they actually had a 6-man title. You just never saw anybody wear it. They actually had titles made for this in '91. So yeah,
actually pretty swank looking if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
they are. They're not as swank looking as the originals in the '80s, but yeah, they're pretty swank. They're pretty good looking belts. So it was just a weird time. Like the 6-man titles just seemed so far in the background that you never really thought about them. It's just odd. But anyway. All right, yeah, so yet another great Freebird appearance where, once again, they come out looking great, and a member of your hot faction right now takes the fucking pinfall loss on TV after they've already joined. It's just so goddamn stupid. All right, next, we're going to December 7th, 1991, and we are going to WCW Pro. And it is the return of our favorite tag team, guys. It is Pia News and Tom Zank, who we saw face Vader and Austin a few episodes ago, and they're taking on Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson. So Eaton and Anderson definitely getting their chops going as a tag team. So let's see. First, the Patriots. So here's the note I made about the alliance. First, the Patriots. Then portraying Eaton jobbing as a face as a member of the alliance. And our second time in this pod history, seeing PN News and a Zinc tag team. I said we're on a hot streak here. Last time they lost to Vader and Austin. And once again, Vanilla Zinc tries to gracefully, saved by the Dangerous Alliance music. So Dangerous Alliance, ignore it. But Tom Zink's coming out doing that rap dance. And I said the last time I never wanted to see that again. Arn makes fun of News and his rolling hand yo-yo baby bullshit thing, which I thought was awesome. JR puts over Arn as a yeoman, what a wrestler should be. Susan, what is a yeoman?
I think PN News is a yeoman.
Okay, I don't know.
A yeoman, you say?
Well, no,
I think he's a
okay.
yo baby, yo
Okay.
man.
Okay, because he
I
puts
see.
over Arn as yeoman, and that's what I didn't understand. I thought it was some. Okay, so now I get it. He's putting.
You see, Arn is a yeoman,
Oh.
but PN News is a yo man.
Oh, say it was JR's attempt at humor, is what you're
I
telling
think so. Yes.
Okay, Arn gets hit with a body slam, and Arn gets crushed in a corner on a sleeper attempt. Then PN News hits a drop kick after a cartwheel. As Paulie screams, he weighs 900 pounds. How does he move that way? And one note I made, again, WCW in all its glory plays like this match takes place after Starrcade, which confused everybody on this pod, but because this match initially aired on 12/7 on WCW Pro. But in this video that I had you guys watch, they retroed this to Power Hour in the future on January 4th, 1992, with JR dubbed in. So this match is actually a month old, but the one you watched was actually replayed again on Power Hour a month later. That's why you guys got
fucking WCW. Jesus Christ.
See, I'd like to point out the fallacies of WCW and their whole Back to the Future bullshit. I think
Good
they're doing
God.
a really good job. So does it make sense now why it was dated the way it was, Sousa?
And now it does, yeah. But
Okay.
I was very confused.
Yes.
Marty,
I like-
you screwed up the schedule.
Yeah, I did. I got called out. Oh, Sean, you know this is dated January 4th. Well, yes, I did. Wait till I
Oh,
talk
look,
about
I was just making sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch any more PN News matches than I fucking had to.
Like, goddamn,
I blame Biff.
goddamn fucking WCW, man. News does a roll on Eaton, and JR states News has and he basically JR shits on him. He basically JR shitting on fat people. Only like he doesn't want to question News's cardio, but he does anyway. That's what's so funny. He's like, hey, I don't want to question his cardio, but he basically says he's fat. And JR has this thing about fat guys. Have you ever noticed that? Like, and it's kind of pot calling kettle black because he's a big fat man too. So anyway, Zank and Bobby almost collide on a Zinc elbow duck, but Zank recovers off top rope with a drop kick. He follows up with arm bars and arm drags. He almost hits Arn on a collision botch as well. Z-Man gets an Arn figure 4. For no apparent reason, the ref turns his back, allowing Bobby to clobber Zinc to help the escape. So literally, the ref turns around, literally for no reason, just so Bobby can get to hit Zinc. However, Zinc reverses a suplex, and he tags News. PN News beats up both heels and whips Eaton into the corner and goes for an avalanche, but Arn yanks him out of the way, which I thought was really cool. And News eats shit as JR says he looks like an uncontrolled bull. Heels work over News smartly with knees and stomps to the ribs, and a savage crack with the phone to head by Arn. Paul says reach out and touch someone, which fucking popped me. I really like the heel work they do on News, by the way. They look legit, and they did like a legit work on a big man to kind of keep him down kind of stuff. Another fat joke as News is 400 pounds after the holidays by JR. News throws Arn and Bobby into each other and tags Zinc, who does Zinc things, including 2 savage kicks to the heel faces, which I thought was pretty good. He goes up top and gets a cross body. Arn comes in to break it up, and then News is in after Arn. Zinc roll up on Bobby as the ref pushes News out, and Arn punches Zinc, and Bobby rolls Zinc up by the tights for 3. And then my favorite moment of the match on the roll up, like he literally rolls up Zinc for 3. And then Bobby just casually lets go, releases a pin, and just casually walks out of the ring, turns his head to look at both of them and says, fuck this shit. I love this match, guys, because I thought it was good. I thought the heels did a really good job working over News. Just to, again, I know that the faces suck, But I love this. And then Bobby then casually releasing the pin and just walking out of this ring and just basically telling him to fuck off was hilarious. So, and honestly, I hate to say it, I thought News was a good face in Heat, and the heel work was really good. I went 2.5. I did not hate this match, and I'm ashamed to say I liked it. Susan, I'll go to you. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I didn't I didn't hate this either, which is stunning to me that I didn't hate a PN news match. But I liked that I thought it was surprising and different that he was the hot tag and that Zenk was on the apron, and I thought a lot of the heel work was on News. So I thought that was a nice change of pace, and I thought it was really good. And I thought News' selling was actually pretty well done. I thought Paulie at ringside was fantastic as per usual, just screaming at ringside that he weighs 900 pounds. How can he even move like that? Just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I said it last episode. I'm going to say it again here. Arn and Bobby work very well together. And I think, save for the Patriots, but because they're the Patriots, but they may be the type of team that kind of works well with anybody, save for the Patriots. So I'll be curious to see, like if you put them in there with like the York Foundation or something, if they can carry them to like a 2.5-star match. But yeah, I thought this was really well done. And, News and Zinc, I thought really held their own. So yeah, 2.5 for me.
Yeah, who would have thought that we would get a 2.5-star
Bro,
match out of this team? That's amazing.
At this point, I'll fucking take a 2.5-star match.
Absolutely. Logan, what do you think?
What'd you go, Matt? Sorry.
2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I went 2.5 as well. I thought it was really well worked. I'm gonna make a comment in a second that I took in the beginning of the match that I kind of thought that was gonna be the way the match went. So if I say something that doesn't really make sense for a future note, just keep that in mind. I love the Paulie calling News 900 pounds line. I thought that was hilarious. And like Sean said, of course Ross comments on News's weight after he says he's not gonna comment on News's weight. My next line is the one I'm talking about. I said, "Hey, guess what? The Alliance gets completely dominated and had to cheat with the ref's back turn to gain any type of advantage."
I totally understand the comment.
Yeah. But nasty phone shot. I think the phone's a really great weapon that the Alliance uses. I thought that was really good. But to counteract what I just said, I'm glad that once Arn and Eaton took over, they worked a limb, they had advantage, and they kept it. This is what these matches kind of should be. I mean, I know some of them can't be more than a certain length, but this is what it should be. They can get dominated, but they need to take advantage and keep it and work a limb, or just work the person over for a little bit and build to that climax of maybe them getting a little bit of advantage, and then they get cheat and win. But they just look like goofs for the most part because they're not getting that advantage back, and they're just getting it back at the end and somehow scoring the pin. So that's just been my real problem with the matches in the last couple episodes. But there was a nasty noggin knocker by News at one point. I feel like they really, Eaton and Arn really smacked heads real hard. I thought this was actually a really solid match. And like I said, I went 2.5 with y'all guys as well. So awesome. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing of this match, like you said, was PN News being the face in peril. And the freaking and the heel work on him as a big man, like, just seemed legit. Like, if he's a big man, this is what you would do to the guy, and I thought they played that really well. I agree with you guys. Schiff, what did you think?
2.5 across the board. I really enjoyed this. I was shocked that I did. Like you guys said, the limb work was good, but also Z-Man and Arn. When Z-Man was working Arn's arm. Then they had some nice reversals where it was like 3 or 4 in a row where they were just like reversing each other, which I thought was very nice, and it shows like, oh, these guys have wrestled each other a lot. There was a fun part where Arn was working with PN News, and PN News was on offense, and Arn just like punches him right in the nuts, but it looks like it punches him in the gut. So I was like, nuts, gut, gunt, it's all the same.
Oh my god.
And then, we see the DA having their nice double team. And you guys said how he hit PN News with the phone. Like 3 or 4-year-old Scott thought this phone was like the most dangerous foreign object ever. I remember being terrified of it. Well, it had like the big ass Zach Morris phone. And then Z-Man had his own super kick party before they were in style towards the end of the match.
Dude, those were good. Those are good fucking kicks, by the way.
Yeah. And then Arn, got Z-Man with the right hand, and Dangerous Alliance won. Like, so that's why I said 2.5. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, a stunning, shocking match here for all of us, I think. I thought all of us were going into it, fuck, but man. The other note I'll make, and Schiff, it's funny you brought it up about Zank and Arn working. It seems like they worked a lot together. If you go back to 1990, they had some pretty freaking awesome banger matches over the TV title in 1990. So not that anyone's looking to go back and watch any Tom Zank matches, but if you want to go see some pretty good matches between Arn and him, 1990 is full of them. So just FYI.
I think he's one of those guys that if he's in there with the right guy, he could have a solid match. He's not going to blow you out of the water, and he's not going to carry anybody, but he can be good if he's in there with somebody that's also better.
Yeah, I think Zank actually beat him for the TV title, and then it was Arn won it back from him before he lost it to Eaton at Super Brawl. So if you ever want to go back and see those matches, I'm sure they're on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, really good match here. So not going to say it's a hidden gem, but I would say it's a shocking match that if you were to watch it, you would never believe it's as good as it is, and I'll leave it at that. All right, so now we're going to go to Worldwide also here on this same weekend. And hey, imagine that. The Freebirds are back, guys. And they are taking on. And they are taking on, you guessed it, Austin and Eaton, who are just getting a freaking massive workout this weekend. So here's the other good note. It's another Into the Future Power Hour match because this match aired on 12/7 worldwide, but then they re-air it again on December 28th, again with dubbed-in commentary. So WCW did it once again. The Freebirds come out gyrating just horribly. Medusa looks absolutely disgusted at them as JR brings up Missy Hyatt calling Medusa a horse face and makes a hell of And then he makes a Hello Wilbur joke that children in 1991 have no idea what the fuck he is talking about. He then wants it, and then he says he wants Medusa and Missy in a debate on TV. Rather bland start with arm bars and headlocks, and the heels complain about every little thing, including JR referring to Eaton when he says Harpo speaks, which again, a very dated reference by JR again. Medusa looks like she was the rude rat the previous night because her hair is all a mess. She looks like she's a sloppy hot mess.
The rude rat.
Hayes becomes a face in peril when Eaton catches him coming off the rope with a knee. Austin dumps him out for Medusa to hit a plancha on Hayes, who stood staring at her for what seemed like minutes before she actually jumped. Back in, Hayes comes back with a left jab on Eaton and tags at Garvin. He goes forearm crazy and has Eaton pinned, but the ref is with Hayes, and that allows Austin to break up the pin attempt. Stun gun follows, and the Dangerous Alliance pick up the clean win. So we actually get a clean win here at 10 minutes. This match went fucking 10 minutes, by the way. The match was blah, very dull, and felt like no one cared about it. And I felt like it was just a matter of them just kind of working it to get to that Medusa spot that felt like a half hour to get. And Medusa, I don't know what's going on with her, man. So she was out of it. I mean, I thought she was freaking like on drugs in this match because she seemed really, really out of it. I went 3/4 of a star on this. This match was not good. Souza, how about you?
Medusa dressed like she just came from a Richard Simmons workout tape shoot, so I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking she looked like she just got out of the sack with Rude and had to rush to the ring. That's what.
That too. The hair gave that away.
Yeah.
It's funny, Sean, that you said this had a boring beginning because I thought it had a boring beginning, a boring middle, and a boring end.
It sure did.
So, I mean, nothing fucking happened in this match for like 8 minutes. I mean, nothing. It's gotta be like one of the most boring matches I have ever seen Austin or Eaton involved in. Goddamn fucking Freebirds. It's all your fault. You're making me hate Austin and Bobby Eaton because of you. You suck shit people. Medusa had the biggest bump of the match with that crossbody, so good on her for that. So I'll give her a higher rating than I'm going to give this match just for taking that bump. It's 10 minutes long. It's super boring. There's parts of it where literally nothing happens, and par for the course for the Freebirds. A boring ass match, 1 star.
You went higher than me. Logan, what'd you think?
Yeah, I went 1 star too, and I'll make the comment again. Man, Hayes and Garvin must be putting some time in under Jim Hurd's desk at this point during this period.
I think they're doing the Jimmy Valiant under the table shit, man. That's
yeah. They're definitely under the desk of Jim Hurd or whoever is the head man in charge and calling the shots at this point. Just complete domination by the Freebirds throughout the whole match. I will say the match is pretty meh. It was pretty bad, but you won't find 4 better heads of hair in the world in a wrestling match than you do here. Everybody in this match had the alcoholic stepdad hairdo. I feel like so. Um, but Medusa finally does something cool by doing the crossbody to the outside. Yeah, it kind of took her a little bit to set it up, and she kind of almost fell at certain points when she was kind of standing up. But I thought the spot was pretty cool when it actually was executed. I probably would have agreed with you and gone the same score as you did, Sean, but Austin actually did hit the stun gun and they won clean, so I will give it the extra quarter star for that. So I'll go
You know
one.
what? That's a good point. Add me to the 1 star. You're right.
All right, I got you.
Austin finally got a clean pin with his move, so that's a good call. Good call. All right, Schiff, what'd you think?
I kind of enjoyed this match. I mean,
Of course you did. I love this. Yeah.
I mean, when I say I enjoyed it, it's like the commentary was good. Like JR saying Paulie has leaked something as if he's ever leaked anything before. I was like, Jesus, we're shooting now, guys.
God, I thought JR was terrible during this, but
Well, I love that comment. So, okay. I'm sorry, Sean, it doesn't hold up to your 1986 standards.
Oh, gee.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Wow. All right, keep going with your shit take.
I get it from my father.
Oh, God.
I will say Medusa hitting the crossbody from the top rope down to the floor was insane to see in 1991. Like, yes, I thought she, now you saying that you think she was high, that might be why she was a little wobbly. Because it was bad. When she hits her karate kick, which I can't remember if it's this match or the next, but JR says she was taught the karate kick in the Orient. Glad we're keeping it up casual racism in 1991, JR. Freebirds getting the visual pin, then Austin actually hitting the stun gun, which I didn't realize was his thing, and it was over. I went a star and a quarter. Like I said, it wasn't that much of a difference. I just enjoyed that, but hopefully I never have to see a Freebirds match ever again.
Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So,
God damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike the Patriots, the Freebirds, you got to remember they're here for a long. I mean, shit, they last longer than this freaking podcast will. So, buckle in for the Freebirds, gentlemen. All right. So with that, what was that? What did we get total on that one? Logan?
Another 1.06.
Goddamn, Schiff, you and your quarter stars on these matches. All right. All right, moving on. We're
making me do math and shit.
Yeah, how dare you make Logan do math? I even went an extra quarter star just so Logan wouldn't have to do the math, but that's okay. I love you, Schiff.
Thanks, love you guys too.
All right.
That didn't sound very convincing, but I'll take it.
Scott's like, I'm tired of your all's fucking bullshit. All right, we're moving on to Saturday night. And so we have two things we're going to talk about here for the Omni. So the first thing we look at is the Sting Rude Omni footage that we talked about at the beginning of this show where we ran down the card. So this is for the United States title. It's between Rick Rude and Sting. And this is actually Thanksgiving night. So it's kind of cool that the Omni was still doing Thanksgiving shows like when Starrcade was doing it back in the day. So this is pretty cool. So here's what we see. Rick twists Sting's neck for the Rude Awakening, but Sting breaks out of it and drops Rude with his own version of the maneuver. Referee Nick Patrick begins his 10 count as both men are down until Sting crawls over and throws his arm across Rude for a close near fall. Sting finally hits the Stinger splash and applies the Scorpion Deathlock, but Paulie is on the apron to distract the ref while Medusa runs in and throws a kick at Sting. Although the kick doesn't phase him, Sting releases the hold and backs Medusa into the corner as Rude attempts to sneak up behind him, but Sting turns around. Sting slams Rude over his head and drops him all the way down to the floor. Sting follows that up with a running leap over the top to take out Rude. Paulie tries to get involved with his phone, but Sting ends up with the phone and nails Rude with it before chasing dangerously into the ring. The crowd is going batshit as Sting grabs Paul by the tie in preparation to use the phone on him, but Medusa dives off the top turnbuckle, and Sting lets go of him so he can catch her. As Sting is holding a kicking and screaming Medusa, Rude returns to the ring and stomps away at Sting's knee from behind. The bell starts ringing, and JR declares that Rude has retained the U.S. title via disqualification, while Rick Rude retrieves a chair and bashes Sting's leg with it until Big Josh, Dustin Rhodes, and Ricky Steamboat run out to make the save, and Rude flees the scene. So I thought this was pretty cool, showing this on live TV, and it continues to hype the importance of this feud. And hell yeah, man. This is probably, for me, this was like good shit, like good fire from Sting and Rude and everything involved here. So I fucking love this a little bit we saw. I wish I'd saw the whole match. Matt, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like this. It finally felt like something the Dangerous Alliance would do with Rude, grabbing the chair and beating the shit out of Sting's knee with the multiple chair shots. Super impressive move by Sting, press slamming Rude to the floor. Rude is not a small man, so that was pretty impressive that he was able to do that. So yeah, I always think it's cool when any promotion, not just WCW, shows house show footage like this. So yeah, this looked like it was really fun, and I'd like to see the full match if it's out there. So yeah, cool stuff here.
You got to imagine it's out there somewhere in one of those vaults at WWE, whatever
Right.
that cave they hold all their bullshit in. But yeah, I mean, they got so many house shows that probably no one will ever see, and that's a shame because this would probably be a banger of one to watch. So, Logan, what do you think?
Yeah, I really liked the parts of it we saw as well. I liked that Sting used the Rude Awakening on Rude. I thought that was pretty cool spot. He actually just chucks him into the air at one point, and the elevation that Rude gets is pretty incredible. He flies. I mean, he goes way up there. I thought the press slam to the outside was pretty awesome as well. Showed off how strong Sting is. He's absolutely on fire in this one. He's going balls to the wall the whole time. The crowd is super behind him. And of course, fucking dickhead Nick Patrick let all hell break loose before he called the TQ instead of immediately when the interference happened. So, but yeah, I really liked what we saw of this, and I kind of maybe we could find it for YouTube Roulette and we'll watch it on that. But I really enjoyed what we saw.
All right, I actually might have tried to look up the whole match and you can't find it on YouTube. That's kind of bummed.
I
Kind
gotcha.
of bummed. That was bummed. Schiff, I assume you like this one.
Yeah, I wish, like you guys said, I wish we could have more. I always thought Sting and Rude had good chemistry together.
They really do.
They
You're
do.
right, they do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I don't know if it's like forgotten the time because we always say like, oh, Sting's best opponents was Flair and Vader, but I think Rude deserves to be in that conversation. I like how when they were battling outside, like Sting was able to catch the phone, which I was like, damn, that was pretty impressive. I love Rude still working the leg that we do, and then how pitiful is the WCW babyface situation where Big Josh is the first person to run out.
Right.
Yep.
I know Dustin and Steamboat didn't run out, but they were like, oh, we gotta let that youngster Big Josh run out. Hopefully he's got his fucking bear. So
His bear.
Wait,
But I
there's
just-
an even worse run out in our last match of the night. So you're making a great point right now, by the way, about how bad the faces are right now in WCW, by the way. So
But yeah, I just wish. Sadly, we can't see it. I'm sure there's a fan cam out there somewhere that some guy has in his basement or whatever.
yeah, somebody's got to have this match somewhere. But yeah, really, really good stuff. So really cool segment here, and it's cool to see it on the Saturday night show, which takes us into our next one from the same show. It is Dustin Rhodes and Steamboat defending the tag team titles against Eaton and Arn for the first time. So what I also love is that when they formed the Alliance, they cut promos on this show, and now they're following up with us to show us what happened. So that's kind of a cool little tidbit, and I love that they did this. So this is a tag team title defense. The belts are on the line. At this point, we go in. It's already been over 30 minutes. Bobby and Arn keep Rhodes grounded and working over his arm until he fires back with right hands and cracks Arn's head against his partners, knocking Eaton off the apron. There's a hot tag, and Steamboat with a series of 2 counts on Bobby as Rick desperately tries to pin him before the 45 fucking minute time limit. After landing the flying chop on the top turnbuckle, Steamboat covers Eaton, and Anderson quickly makes a save as all 4 men end up in the ring. And Steamboat and Rhodes whip Anderson and Eaton into each other. While Dustin takes Arn out to ringside, Steamboat hits the flying body press on Eaton just as the bell rings to signal a 45-minute draw. These guys wrestled for 45 minutes. Only a few minutes were shown here, but the crowd was nuclear. And that was even how hot they were after 45 minutes. And count me in. If I could ever find this match, holy shit, I'd be all over it. Steamboat, Rhodes, Anderson, Eaton in less than a few weeks have become the 2 teams to see wrestle, including, in my opinion, in WWF at this point, next to the Steiners, of course. And could you imagine, like, back in the day, if they had done, like, a 3-way between these 3 teams? It would have been freaking unbelievable. But, yeah, this was freaking just awesome, awesome footage. What did you think of this one, Souza?
Yeah, awesome stuff here. Steamboat's hot tag was fantastic. The way he comes in like a house of fire and just hits those, all those near falls. I thought he was, what we saw from him was really great. The crowd was red hot. And chalk this up as another match. I want to see the full match. So, yeah, this was really great stuff here.
And you know what's great? Logan had brought it up, and we've been talking about it, how we feel like the Alliance has had to sell for a bunch of freaking shitheads. So the last two that we've talked about from the Omni, we've seen the Alliance that we should be seeing on the TV, and they're getting them here at the house show. So it's really good to see that. That's probably one of the reasons why I've enjoyed this so much. Logan, what do you think?
Yeah, that's the exact notes I wrote. This is the This match is how I want to see the Alliance presented. They don't completely dominate, but they also don't get completely worked over at the same time. I thought it was really good of what we saw. Arn and Eaton looked good, but Steamboat and Dustin also looked great as well. So I mean, I think this is the perfect combination of what we need to see for the Alliance going forward. Like, they can be dominated throughout matches, but they also need to get their portions of the match where they can look good and show their offense and show what they can do in the ring, but not just get completely worked over. And especially if it's going to be goose like the Freebird and Arachnoman. So I thought this match was the perfect presentation for what exactly I want this group to look like when they have wrestling matches on weekly TV. But we'll see how it goes going forward, but I really, really would love to see the rest of this match for sure.
Yeah, and imagine like the chemistry of Rhodes and Steamboat as a team in like literally a matter of a few weeks is freaking unbelievable. By the way,
yeah,
because Dustin is still somewhat of a rookie of his own, and I mean it's just uncanny how good Dustin Rhodes has gotten this fast. And again, people shit on his father for shoving him down people's throats, but goddamn, he's really fucking good.
They don't call him the Natural for nothing.
Oh, I get it. I totally get it. And this period of WCW is why he's as great as he is. It shows how good he is, and he didn't need his dad to do it. So it's just good shit. Schiff, what'd you think?
I hated it. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Right.
Sorry, say I love everything. I had to throw your
I know.
curveball.
I deserve that. That's fine.
Arn working the arm from the beginning was just masterful. And then I love Steamboat with the hot tag. And this is, some people may think it's goofy, but I love it. I love when the tag partners get Irish whipped into each other.
Yes.
It's such like an old school thing, but like it just warms my heart. And then like we get the time limit draw. I was like, damn it, can I where was in what was that movie, the baseball movie when the kids are Bad News Bears, like let the kids play. I was like, 5 more minutes, give me 5 more minutes of this match. Sadly, that wasn't the case. I'm sure you guys looked to see if the full one was out there, but hopefully we get more of these because holy shit, Arn and Eaton just are great as a tag team. I mean, you have 2 of the best tag team wrestlers from the Midnight Express and the Brainbusters, and they're put together. It's like, yeah, that makes sense why they're so great.
I also feel fairly confident in saying that no matter what, when we get to Super Brawl 92, we're going to get some freaking awesome Dangerous Alliance. So Super Brawl 92, I can't wait to get to that because one of my all-time underrated pay-per-views. So that no matter what, I know we're going to get some good tag team shit in that one. So hopefully we'll have something along the way that equals some of this footage that we saw here tonight. So yeah. So if you're gonna watch this or follow along with this podcast, definitely check out this footage from the Omni. Just good shit. All right, so our final match of tonight, we have reached the end. This is also on Saturday night. It is beautiful Bobby Eaton taking on Dustin Rhodes. So I like how they're following this up a little bit. They showed us this Omni footage, and now we get this main event here. So, by the way, so WCW again on its shit as this match was taped on November 11th, before Bobby Eaton's heel turn had even aired on television. And since this is also before Clash of the Champions, Dustin Rhodes does not have the WCW World Tag Team title on him, but Bobby is in full-on heel mode and has Paul E with him. So, like, again, WCW back to the feet. Like, I don't know how they kept track of their booking, guys. And that's been
a great question.
That is one of the best underrated stories of this pod in the first 6 episodes. What a fucking mess WCW's booking is. Just freaking nuts. So Dusty beats on Bobby as Medusa comes out the ringside and Paulie heads to the back, assuring Medusa and Bobby that he's just a phone call away as JR chastises Medusa's taste in men. Rhodes body drops Bobby over the top rope. Dustin hip tosses Bobby on the floor and hits him with a running lariat before throwing him back into the ring and applying an armbar. JR reminds us Medusa of her Cobra Kai-like martial arts skill sets.
God bless.
Eaton pushes Dustin off to the ropes, and they crisscross until Bobby drops down and chop blocks Dustin's knee, sending him back to the floor. Medusa distracts the ref, and Eaton hits Dustin's leg with a chair, reminding JR reminding JR the Midnight Express using chairs against the Fantastics a few years ago, which I thought was a pretty good call out. Bobby works the knees and tosses Dustin out to the floor. Medusa strikes with a stiff kick to the chest. Rhodes goes towards Medusa, but Bobby clips his leg from behind while JR busts out the old Jezebel comment from Medusa. Bobby hits Dustin's knees with another chair shot, and Medusa stomps on him, but Dustin to his feet and hobbles towards her, only for Bobby to kick him in the leg from behind. Eaton calls the camera over to get a good shot of him working over Dustin's knee, which made me laugh, and he continues the attack. As the crowd rallies behind him with Dustin chants, Dustin fights out of a half crab and collides with Bobby when they both try to shoulder block each other. Eaton covers Rhodes for a near fall and whips him into the corner, but Dustin avoids it and hits a series of punches. Bobby hits a swinging neckbreaker, but Dustin gets a small package for the 3 count at 12 minutes and 40 seconds. As soon as the bell rings, Arn and Larry Zbyszko hit the ring as Arn nails Dustin with a spine buster. Zbyszko runs interference to prevent Brian Pillman and Mike fucking Graham from making the save. Eaton lands the Alabama Jam on Rhodes, and Arn stomps on them before they bailed. I love this match. I went 3.25 stars. Dustin continues to be great, and heel Bobby is a great opponent, and they had fantastic chemistry. Eaton losing twice this episode and was in 5 of our matches, but he once was in the fucking York Foundation. Now he lost to Dustin. But for me, he had the moment of the night for me, like when he gave that no fucks pin on that zinc in that chill and walking out stuff. But he was also in my 2 favorite matches in this episode. So I went 3.25 on this. I love this. And again, the end of the match, you got the freaking alliance that we've been wanting to get, and we finally got it on fucking TV. Susan, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, I really like this too. I think I would have this as the second best match I have watched for this podcast so far.
I'd probably agree with that. Yeah.
I just thought it was great. Everything about it was fantastic. I love the chair shots that Bobby hit Dustin with. I love how it led to, Bobby working on the knee and the leg for most of the rest of the match. I just thought Rhodes' selling was great. There was one point where there was a touch. I love the touch where Rhodes is kind of hopping on one leg while he's running the ropes. I thought that was really well done. At one point, I noticed that Medusa was dressed like Wednesday Addams on prom night, so that was interesting.
Oh my God.
But yeah, just an absolutely fantastic match. And like you just said, Sean, we're finally seeing what most people remember about the Dangerous Alliance. The great matches, the brawling, the post-match brawling, stuff like that. So I'm glad that we're finally seeing it. It took 6 episodes, but we're finally seeing it. So I'm happy with that. So I actually went 3.5 on this.
All right. You know what? I think you convinced me to do 3.5 too. Thank you. Because I can't. I gave 3.25 stars to the freaking Mike Graham 6-man, so I got to get this above this. So I'm going 3.5 too. Logan, what'd you think?
Yeah, I went 3.5 as well. I loved that the first move of the match is an eye poke from Bobby. I thought that was a good
yeah, that was awesome.
Great.
Yes.
Bobby, I noticed throughout these episodes when Bobby's in a match, he complains about the closed fist a lot. Like that's something he does at the beginning of almost all of his matches. So if somebody like socks him one, he always goes to the ref and is like, "Are you making sure he's not using the closed fist like he's not supposed to?" Maybe he should kind of learn to throw a few of his own. Maybe he should throw the closed fist before somebody else does on him. But that's just a little thing that I noticed in most of his matches that we've been watching. Glad to see that the ref actually overlooked the over the top rule, because I think Dustin gets dumped out at one point, so he ignored that and didn't call for the DQ. JR talking about how dangerous Medusa is gave me quite a chuckle. I won't lie. We get another fucking crisscross spot somewhere in this match, but the brutal shot by Bobby to Dustin's knee with the chair I thought was pretty awesome. I love the leg work and all of this, and we finally got a really good TV match between these two. I thought they worked really well together. Dustin and Bobby are 2 of my favorites of this era for sure, and I'm glad they got to face off, and I thought it really came across really well, and I went 3.5 with you guys.
All right, so we got 3.5. So here comes Schiff to make Logan do math. Schiff, what'd you think of this match?
I gave it 3.5 as well.
Yeah, there we go.
I really enjoyed it, and I know the crisscross spot was dumb, but I like what it led to, where Bobby clipped Dustin's knee, and then we started working on it the rest of the night.
Yeah, I was just making fun of the old foginess of the Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually do as well, but like I did, it actually led to something which I don't see.
Sean is a big fan of crisscross spots, by the way.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense what Logan just said. So.
Do they make you want to jump?
No, I just
My
think they're kind of cool.
God.
Yeah, Mac Daddy make you jump. Yes.
Does it make you feel wiggity 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 whack?
My goodness.
It makes you want to wear my overalls. It makes you want to wear my overalls backwards too. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Shift. We got off track. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Well, I was the one that started it, so it's cool. But I love how Bobby then, like, took the chair to Dustin's leg. It showed the viciousness. And they were like, and Dustin was basically dead outside. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a count out. And then Dustin gets in and just gets the inside cradle, and that was like the biggest mistake he's ever made because he immediately gets beat down. That spine buster from AA was just awesome. And I thought I didn't realize it was Mike Graham. I thought it was like one of Doug Dillinger's security people. So
goddamn, what do we do? What do we do to deserve Mike Graham on this show? I don't.
That's
know
a
what
great
we
question.
did. I mean, out of all of them, Mike fucking Graham.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was rough, but no, that was a hell of a match, and hopefully this ending with this, our next episode we lead off with just DA just running through people.
Well, I'll give you a preview of our next episode. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that tone of voice on the show.
Yeah, me neither.
I think you'll be happy with at least one of them. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh, at least one. Well, thank
I
God.
haven't watched it yet, so I'm judging based on just on paper. So yeah, definitely match of the night. I think Matt called it. This might be the second best match we've watched in 6 episodes. So, and then we had that shocking PM News tag team match. So I would say overall a pretty good watch tonight for the most part. And then the Omni stuff. So really good stuff. So all right, so here we're gonna go. Most danger. I'm gonna start, and I'm not sure how you feel, but because I was wrong totally on most of them last time on our show because you guys chose something different from me. I'm going to give it to Bobby Eaton because Bobby Eaton was in 5 of these damn matches tonight. And yes, that one tag team match pissed me off. They could have totally tossed it, but Bobby Eaton was on his shit and he was on fire. And this main event, that Omni footage, and I mean, goddamn, Bobby Eaton was freaking all over this. So most dangerous for me, Bobby Eaton. Souza?
Yeah, I think you got to go with Bobby Eaton for what you just said. He's all over pretty much every match this weekend, and he was in the best match of the weekend. He was on the Omni footage, and yeah, he was in that suck ass Freebirds match, but I mean everything else he did was great. So yeah, I feel like you got to go Bobby Eaton here.
All right, Schiff?
Yeah, Bobby Eaton.
All right, Logan?
Yeah, beautiful Bobby.
Wow. Hey, wow. I think that's the first time we might have been across the board. By the way, a severe lack of Larry Zabisco this episode tonight. No Larry. No Larry to shit on. I guess that's why
I'm okay with that.
I
Yeah,
know.
me
So
too.
now that leads us to what do you do for least dangerous?
Larry. 'Cause he wasn't
Yep.
on.
Yep.
No, you can't be least dangerous if you did not make an appearance.
Since when?
Since we did not watch any Larry tonight.
Since when? When is that a rule? That's not a rule that we had.
It's the rule. Least dangerous.
I mean, nobody other than Arn and Austin, nobody else was really featured. You could go Rude just for the shitty commentary performance. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but then he had the banger with Sting.
I mean, you could go Eaton for both and just say that he lost the tag match.
Or hear me out. You could just go Larry, and we can move on.
Or you could just go Austin for not having any impact on this podcast tonight. All right, I'll go.
Let's
majority.
vote Medusa.
I'll go majority. No, I'll go majority. Like I guess theoretically, I'll throw you
Well,
guys.
that's the thing, right? Because, like, we saw some bad stuff here, but nothing was so outrageously bad that it justifies being least dangerous. Whereas Larry wasn't here.
Honestly, I could go Medusa for me because one, that top rope plancha that took an hour to do, her freaking karate stuff, her freaking.
Oh, it looked cool though.
Her rude ratness in that one match. I mean, I could
She
go with
did that
Logan
plancha on PCP. You got to give her credit for that.
All right, so I'll go with the majority here. It's a hot topic. So, are we counting members that don't make appearances as least dangerous?
Actually, Larry did make an appearance. He was a part of the show-ending brawl in Eaton and
Okay,
Rhodes.
but he wasn't in a match.
I don't think it should count, but I'll
No, I'm going Medusa.
go Deuce too.
All right. Well, we're still at a tie here because me and Schiff are both going Larry.
Well, I as host privilege, I'm saying you can't.
Well, as the man who edits this show, I say.
Well, I'm the host, I know how to edit too, but I'd rather you do it. So please throw me a bone here. I think
You know
I'm
what?
going-
It's late. Put whoever you want. I don't give a fuck.
all right, Medusa. Shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're doing Medusa.
All right. You got. I mean, come on. Really, you can't. I mean, Jesus.
Well, Medusa's planch off the top rope to the floor, which I thought was pretty sweet.
She
Well,
can
would you
pop-
rather go Austin?
No, I'd rather go Larry, but apparently that's not going
I'm
to work.
saying of people that appeared.
We'll just go
How this
Medusa.
works.
I love this. This is the debate that's gone on longer than the podcast.
I can't believe
Anyway.
I'm agreeing with you either, Sean.
Well,
Right.
Well, no, but you
What
kind
happened
of
to you?
you kind of convinced me. That's all. I mean,
Who are you and what have you done with Logan?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like if they didn't appear, they didn't do shitty, but they also didn't do great.
Can
I
go.
mean,
Medusa can go plancha fucker herself. That's what I think. So anyway, all right.
Plancha
Best match. I think unanimous. It'll be Eaton Road. All right.
yes.
Is that allowed? Does the host privilege allow us to pick Bobby Eaton versus Dusty Rhodes? Dustin Rhodes?
Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I know there's some Eaton Dusty Rhodes matches in '88. Would you like to vote for that one for a podcast for '91?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
We've gone off the rails. All right. Is everybody okay with Eaton Dustin?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Worst match. Souza.
I am going to go Austin Eaton versus the Freebirds.
Yeah. Yes, I am going Austin Eaton and the Freebirds. Logan.
I'm gonna go with the 6-man, the Freebirds, Eaton, and York Foundation.
Yeah, I have to revert because I fucking hated that match. It shouldn't have been on this podcast.
That's what I'm going as well. Freebirds, Eaton versus York Foundation.
All right. Man, what a freaking
I mean, you could have prevented it from being on here if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean, I
true.
could have. I know, but I had to put it on there to show what a fucking clusterfuck WCW.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Last but certainly not least, on the 1 to 5 journey, how do you feel about this view in terms of the Dangerous Alliance? I will go first. I was with Logan at the start where I was tired of seeing the Alliance like just fucking sell for these basic second-rate wrestlers, but towards the end, they really brought it home to show what the Alliance should be about. So I'm probably going to go a solid 3.5 on this one. Suze, I'll go to you.
I was thinking the same thing. 3.5. You're finally starting to see, like I just mentioned when we were talking about the last match, you're finally starting to see what people think of when someone mentions the Dangerous Alliance. The great matches, the wild brawling, the stuff like that, the interference, stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully this carries over and this isn't just a one and done type of situation. Like perhaps we can get a whole episode of 7 months of Danger where we get good stuff like that. We'll see. Perhaps I'm asking for too much, but as for right now,
next
3.5.
episode has potential, with the exception of maybe a few minutes.
Can you imagine? I love that trailing off there.
Yeah. A shift on a scale 1 to 5. What do you give it?
I'm going 3.5 as well to make it easy for Logan Lytics.
Oh, you don't have to do that, but I'll go 3.5 as well. Just to
All right. So a definite solid outing. So
Mhm.
a good solid outing. So awesome stuff. All right. So that ends tonight. So on our next episode number 7, we will go to December 14th. So I will run down these matches for you, and you take it for what it's worth. Okay. Our first match will be Bobby Eaton and Steve Austin versus Tom Zink and Brian Pillman.
Mm-hmm.
Potential there. Then we'll go to WCW Pro, where we have Anderson and Eaton versus the Freebirds. On WCW Pro.
Jesus.
Worldwide Wrestling will have Steve Austin, Bobby Eaton, and Arn Anderson versus Big Josh P. and Who's an Arachnaman.
Oh
Good
God.
God Almighty!
Hey, P.N. News surprised us. Maybe you can pull out us another one. All right. That edition of Saturday night will have a rematch between Steve Austin and Arachnaman.
Good God!
But we bring it home strong with the main event of Bobby Eaton versus Ricky Dragon Steamboat.
Mm.
That has potential to be great.
Yeah, that could be awesome.
Yep.
So those are the matches I have listed for our next episode. So I get the feeling that we aren't too keen on a couple of those matches.
You don't say. You think so, huh?
Anyway, we'll see. We might be pleasantly surprised. You never know. So with that ends this episode, gentlemen. As always, thanks for joining me. This has been a great time, even though the last what should have been the last 5 minutes lasted an hour, but that's because we had to debate Larry Zbyszko, which is fucking unreal that we had to do that. Well, before you go, Matt, anything you would like to plug?
You can find me right here on the No So feed on the Extreme Three-Way Dance. We are into 1997. We are closing in on WrestlePalooza 1997, which is a big show for ECW. So definitely give that a listen if you have not. You can also find me on Piece of the Action, where there may or may not be a new episode of that show out by the time you're hearing this. Who can say? Featuring one Sean Kidd, where we watched Roadhouse. So also give that a listen on the Place to Be Nation pop feed, and you can find me on Twitter at msouza1991.
Awesome. Hey, Logan, you would have enjoyed being on Roadhouse with us because there's a lot of cocktail in Roadhouse, so you're going to have to listen to that podcast.
Mm.
And it's not just about us being on our shit. It really is. The movie stole probably 50% of it from cocktails, so you have to listen to that.
Gotcha.
Logan, how about you? What do you got to pimp?
Most of my stuff's on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, YouTube Roulette, that I do with y'all three fellas and Jake Williams, Highway Through the Impact Zone. We're trudging through 2005 almost to 2006. We'll probably almost be at a turning point by the time this pod comes out. Wrestling Chicken Salad and Popcorn Chicken Salad, those are both they're looking at kind of guilty pleasure of the movie part, the popcorn one, and then the worst pay-per-views of all time with the wrestling portion, and then Starflation, where we're kind of going back and looking at Dave Meltzer's 5-star matches and kind of regrading them based on the new 7-star scale. So check all that stuff out.
God, Logan Crossan, a new hardest working man in podcast, man. Everything. Hardest working man in podcasting. Scott Shiflett, how about you?
Yeah, just check out Crock and Roll on the PTB and Wrestling feed. Logan mentioned all the other pods I'm on. And it can be found on Twitter at Scott_Shiflett.
Hey, imagine that. Most of us all do podcasts together. But anyway, call me crazy. I don't know why. But so yeah, NWA Crock and Roll. So by the time this comes out over on the Place to Be feed, Schiff is obviously my co-host over there. And actually, Logan will be joining us for July too. So by the time this comes out, we should be smack dab in the Great American Bash of 1986, which is one of those moments of that time that is considered one of the greatest months in professional wrestling. Due to the 86 Bash has some bangers in it, and that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. So please give that one a listen, as well as all the other podcasts that we mentioned. And I am going to give a plug out for Matt and the Three-Way Dance. I'll be perfectly honest. I have been sporadic listening to that pod, but I got hooked on the barely legal one. And I thought you guys did an amazing job. So I've actually listened to the new one that came out today as of this recording. So I think I'm actually hooked on listening to that now. So.
Well, I appreciate that. It's a great time going through all that stuff I haven't seen in a very long time, or in a lot of cases at all. So it's been great going through that stuff.
Yeah, so that's a really good pod. And then obviously you guys know I love all the other pods because I do all of them with you. So with that, I am Sean Kidd. He's Logan Crossan. He's Scott Shiflett. He's Matt Souza. We will see you guys on 2 weeks on episode number 7 of 7 Months of Danger. Till then, talk to you later.
They try to step to the Mac, then they got jacked to the back. You be sporting your kids, that coincidental. Act like you know and don't be claiming that it's mental. Two little kids with a flow you ain't never heard. Ain't nothing fake, you can understand every word. As you listen to my smooth melody, the daddy makes you J-U-M-P. The Mac daddy make you. A daddy Mac will make you. Chris Cross will make you. The Mac daddy make you. Ain't coming off wet. And for all y'all suckers that don't know, check it out. Some of them try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this.